Here comes Davis. Oh my God! Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game.
Hello and welcome to this episode of War Eagle Weekly. How we doing, Josh?
Oh, we're doing, man. We're doing.
Hell yeah, we are. Dominant win against the Ball State Cardinals. And honestly, it went about as good as it really could have.
It could have gone a little better. The refs couldn't have gypped us out of 3 points.
Oof.
Robert Woodyard could have had a fumble, he literally ripped that ball out. It should have been a shutout, 110%. I wish we had more turnovers.
Yeah, it should have been, but you can only do what is given to you, and the refs really wanted to keep that point total down. Didn't want Auburn to have the ball again, it seemed like, but there was a lot of things bad with the refs, but that seems to be the issue all across college football right now. Is
College
refs
man.
just being absolutely terrible right now. But Josh, Auburn holding Ball State to a total, I think it was 84 total yards.
No, you're giving them way too many yards. It was 68 total yards, Cameron.
68 total
68
yards. Yeah,
total yards. -3 rushing yards.
Just absolutely
out.
Stifling defense. The offense did a lot of really good things. You could clearly see that they were trying to do some practice stuff in a game, although Ball State is really not, I wouldn't say, elite competition at all, but it's different than if you're going against, your own defense. And so I really think the offense did a lot of great things. Jackson Arnold had one of the best passer completion percentages in Auburn history, only missing 4 passes. Okay, one of them, Malcolm Simmons could have caught. He just did not see it in the air, I think.
Probably could have caught.
Yeah. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong. You're not.
And then I think Cam Coleman having to jump for that one ball. That one was a little too high and he got pushed out. And so 2 of those passes could have been completions. And so
I'm not even mad at those high balls to Cam Coleman. I mean, when he's throwing it that high, we know for a fact Cam Coleman is legitimately the only one that could get to that ball.
Yeah.
I'm not even mad at those high balls to Cam Coleman because Jackson knows Cam can catch those.
Yeah, no, it's true. But Jeremiah Cobb looked every bit the lead back. Looks phenomenal. The other running backs did a damn good job as well. I mean, you're talking Darrell Robinson, 54 yards with that 1 touchdown. He had really one big run. I think it was 27 yards is what it's saying here. And then Omar Mabson looked phenomenal. I loved what I saw from him. No, I don't think he needs to be stealing carries away from the top 3 running backs in the room, but dude,
he's about to be the number 3 running back.
Yeah, with the news that we got today.
Darrell Robinson's gone. He's down there's a crazy freak accident, blood building up in his leg. He had to go to the hospital, have surgery, have it drained. It's a crappy situation, but we got a stable, dude. I'm not worried about the running back room at all.
Yep, and Jackson Arnold, he was playing like he knew he could run for 1,000 yards, but was really just trying to get the drop step game going, and the drop back passing is what I was trying to think. I had a brain fart there, and so, man, I kind of am a little indifferent about the way Jackson Arnold played because I feel like he was holding on to the ball a little too long.
Yes.
I mean, I know that was the objective. But it still felt like it was a little too long, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you. I do know that Hugh told Jackson, okay, wait, I don't want you to run tonight unless you absolutely have to. I don't want you to get through your first read and take off running like you did against Baylor. I mean, if it works, it works. But we all wanted to see Jackson Arnold throw more. He did just that, but I agree with you 110%. He held on that ball a few seconds too long on a bunch of those dropbacks. He could have probably ended with closer to 300 yards if he got the ball out quicker.
Yeah. And so that leads me to my next question. Should we have concerns over Jackson Arnold? Because
No.
we knew he could run the ball, and we know that he actually does a really good job in the RPO because he showed it to us in the Baylor game, which is looking more and more like a really good win. But the drop back passing and your just bare bones passing attack. He was holding on to the ball, didn't seem to make progressions, and really didn't step up in the pocket like I would have wanted him to see. He was getting attacked from the sides and the edges a little too much, and so it just felt like that there is a little bit of an issue. But you disagree with me.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything to worry about at all. I mean, yeah, he held onto the ball a little too long, but that's still correctable. It's second game of the season. We got a lot of ball left, and the coaches know what they're doing. And Jackson Arnold, he's not a bad quarterback. He's able to
No,
learn. We're used to a quarterback that just he tried way too much. He tried too often to do way too much. And Jackson Arnold is I don't think he wants to play that way. Last night he was trying to prove some doubters wrong. Not last
he
night,
was.
Saturday night he was trying to prove some doubters wrong. But I don't think it's going to be an issue. I mean, we all know it's been confirmed that the Ball State game was basically a scrimmage for Auburn's
Yeah,
offense and what they can do with the offense. I think they're going to try that a little bit more with South Alabama, and if it doesn't work, they're going to stick to the dink and dunk RPO system. I mean,
yeah.
Nick Saban
And,
made a career off of that. Why can't Hugh Freeze? I mean, if it's going to
yeah.
work, why go away from it?
And we're going to talk more about the South Alabama game. Go ahead and click up there at the top of the screen. I'll put a link up there to that if you're watching this on Wednesday or later, because that will be coming out on Wednesday. That episode where we preview South Alabama. But I. I think that there are some Auburn fans that are overreacting to Jackson Arnold holding on to the ball too long. But it's the second game of the season. There's going to be some kinks that we're working out. We saw plenty of teams have trouble on Saturday, i.e., Florida looking real bad, and and
So bad.
at the same time, you also saw teams that were doing what Auburn was doing. Take a look at what Georgia did against Austin P. If you look at it and you look at the stat sheet and you look at the score box, you're like, wait a second, how was this like this for a majority of the game? But if you watch that game, Georgia was going out there and Kirby Smart had some things that he wanted to get done on the offensive side of the ball and he wanted to see if his team could do it, and they used it like a scrimmage. And so he didn't care about the point total. It was him looking at his team from a strategic point against another team and telling them, "Hey, this is what we're doing. Try to stop it and let's see." And Hugh Freeze did a little bit of that on Saturday. And so I think I'm okay with what I saw from Jackson Arnold initially in the game. You and I were texting, and I was like, "I am." This was. We were at DEFCON 1, really. We were both kind of panicking a little bit in game, but then when you kind of take a step back, and then at the end of the day, you see that he only had 4 incompletions and had an amazing day throwing the ball. It makes you feel a little bit better because I also think that we would have rather see Peyton Thorne take some sacks last year rather than
Then
throw some
interceptions, yeah.
interceptions that he did.
Yeah, and
And
I
I
think
Go
I
ahead,
think
please.
that that ties into like what a lot of Auburn fans, including you and I, we're all suffering from PTSD, Peyton
Oof.
Thorne stress disorder, and we're and
Yes.
it's flashbacks every time he's holding on to that ball. He's like, get rid of it, and hoping he doesn't make a stupid decision downfield. And it was a really good breath of relief to
Hmm.
see him not make those same mistakes as the quarterback from the last 2 years. So I mean, I really am not stressing right now. If we get to the Oklahoma game and he has a PT game against Oklahoma, then that's when I'll start to worry about Jackson Arnold.
Yeah, I think we would be doing a disservice if we didn't point these things out because we talked about this during the game as well. But especially after you see Deuce Knight get in the game and the way he threw the ball had a lot of zip on it. Jackson Arnold's throws don't seem to have some of the zip. Now
A
there were
lot of
some
air,
times
a lot
where,
of air.
yeah, there were some times where Deuce Knight put too much mustard on it. I get that. But Jackson Arnold, it seemed like there was some arm strength issues, which I don't know if really is an issue with him. I didn't watch any of his high school stuff, so I don't know if he's just holding back and trying to put more touch and that's slowing the ball down. But whenever he was going across the field, it always seemed to take forever to get there. And then my second thing that I'm still worried about is we touched on this, the high balls for Cam Coleman. I think on one of them, Cam Coleman jumped and really didn't need to jump to catch the ball, and it kind of slowed him down a little bit and whatnot. But it does seem like Jackson Arnold throws a little too high at the beginning of the game. And so hopefully that doesn't come back to bite us in the rear end because a good defense can make us pay for those high passes.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. And a lot of it, I think Jackson Arnold might be a little too worried that he's going to overthrow some of these receivers. So he's putting a little more air under them. So he's not overthrowing and allowing his receivers to make a play. You overthrow somebody, the receiver is just shit out of luck. He's not going to make a play on an overthrown ball unless they're diving 6 yards like Cam Newton did against Kentucky to get into the end zone. I mean, it's going to be hard. I'm not worried about it at all. Again, these are very, very correctable mistakes.
yeah, and it's this, like you said, like we've talked about. It's the second game of the season. We got a long way to go, and I like what we have seen so far, and I like the confidence that he has. You can't say that he has anything but confidence in the people around him.
Oh, absolutely. It's just the chemistry is just gonna grow as the season goes on.
Yep. So the next thing I got a question on is, can our defense continue to be this dominant? Because holy shit, man. I mean, you look at what Baylor put up against SMU. Nobody in the SEC thinks SMU is a powerhouse. And yes, they were in the playoffs last year, but you talk to half the fan bases, they didn't think that they deserved to be there. But
No.
SMU, I mean, that is a very good offensive team, and they were going toe to toe with Baylor, and they had that playoff experience. And then you see what Baylor did, and you texted me during the Baylor and SMU game and talked about how Robinson, is it Robinson or Robertson or
Sawyer
yeah,
Robertson.
Sawyer Robertson, how he has over 800 yards passing in 2 games. And they have weapons. And so Baylor is a damn good team. And they're going to win quite a few games this year if their defense doesn't screw it up for them. But our defense, what I'm trying to get at is our defense didn't look great in that game. But when you look at what Baylor just did, you got to feel a little bit better, right?
When you're playing against a quarterback like Sawyer Robertson, he's going to get his yards no matter what. No matter how good your defense is. He threw it close to 50 times against Auburn and got over 400 yards and did the same thing against SMU. So it's going to be very hard to keep up with someone throwing 45 plus times a game, and it's going to be hard to prevent them from getting their yards. So it was a little discouraging against Baylor. I was like, maybe our secondary was a little overhyped, but after seeing what they did to SMU, I'm like, okay, Baylor's offense is really that good. I'm not really too worried about our secondary. I'm a little worried about Kayin Lee. He seems to be getting beat quite often. He got beat a couple times against Ball State. Luckily, Ball State's quarterback overthrew the receiver every time Kayin Lee was beat. But I'm starting to stress a little bit about the secondary. But I was very encouraged against Ball State with Sylvester Smith stepping in and doing what he did against Ball State in Champ Anthony's absence. I mean, these are things that still can be corrected. You gotta make sure your guys are staying mentally focused and attached to their assignments. And I know that's a lot easier said than done. But South Alabama is going to be a really big test. Their quarterback's averaging 198 yards a game, so it's going to be one of those games where this is a test game before we go into Mateer with John Mateer, and that dude's a Heisman candidate. So we still got some time to correct some of these things. Hopefully we can do that. But I'm starting to, my stress level on the secondary just went up a notch after Ball State for sure.
Okay.
But I'm not worried about the linebackers, man. Xavier Atkins, dude. Holy shit.
Dude was
Holy
all over
crap.
the place. Yeah.
He was all over the friggin' place. I mean, it reminded me of Eugene Asante's first year at Auburn, coming out of nowhere and making an impact on the field every snap. The dude could not be stopped. And
No.
hopefully that continues, and I think it could.
Yeah, and we talked about it in last week's episode, one of them. I can't remember exactly when, but Champ Anthony seemed like he was going out there and just trying to lay the wood on receivers and players for Baylor, and it just wasn't that effective. Sylvester Smith went out there and did it and delivered probably 3 of the biggest hits of the season, definitely
In
in the
one
game.
game.
Yeah, and just he played lights out and looked phenomenal. His first step was great on almost every single play. I loved what I saw from him. The safeties, we didn't hear their name get called, so they were doing good.
Good thing. Yeah.
And we rotated at linebacker. Like you said, Atkins is amazing. Demarcus Riddick still looks like he has a little bit of the same issues he had last year, where he's playing a little too fast.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think he's just a little too fast for himself. He's overshooting. He's getting to the quarterback. He's just overshooting the quarterback. That quarterback sees him at last second and takes that one step forward, and he just overshoots. I mean,
now it still was a sack. It still was a
Yes.
sack, but a more talented quarterback is going to make him pay. And DeMarcus Riddick has the ability to make the quarterback pay rather than the other way around. Keldrick Falk, really didn't hear his name. I think he got in on 1 sack or a couple sacks, a couple pressures, but we talked about it. He is making it so much easier for all the other defensive linemen and so much easier for everyone around. Amaris Williams looks like a man amongst boys right now. And it's all because of Keldrick Falk and what he is garnering as far as double teams and stuff. And so I absolutely positively love what I'm seeing out of our defensive line. Our linebackers, Elijah Mendez was involved in a couple of tackles. Bryce Diaz shot out of a cannon in one play and had a nice tackle for a loss and just read it beautifully. And
now the way he tackled on that play is the way the rest of the defense needs to pay attention. That boy locked in, locked on, and wrapped up. That was a perfect form tackle. The rest of the defense needs to take note. They did a lot better in tackling against Ball State. There's hardly any broken tackles. I mean, the quarterback was pretty shifty. He got out a couple times, but I mean, this game, I feel like it was a very encouraging step forward. Yeah, it was against Ball State. Who gives a crap? Right. It was improvement. It was improvement.
Yeah. Well, they did exactly what they were supposed to do against Ball State.
Yes.
And before we close this episode, I think we need to talk about Jared Smith, because that SOB. I was like wait a second.
Out there, man.
Did Keldrick Falk change his jersey? And I mean, he looked ridiculous out there. Ridiculous.
Yes. You know, with Keldrick Falk out there, I know everyone touched on this before the season even started. Keldrick Falk is forcing these teams to pick their friggin' poison, and it's allowing everyone else to just make plays, and I'm friggin' here for it. We have, I think, 9 or 10 sacks in 2 games. Dude, come on. I wish we gave up a little less sacks on Jackson Arnold against Ball State. I feel like that was kind of crap. I hated that. But the defense more than yes. That was partly on Jackson Arnold, but I mean, this defense, dude, it is definitely top 3 in the SEC right now. You can't change my mind.
Nope, I agree 100%. And with that, Josh, War Eagle, man.
War damn Eagle, dude. Let's go to 3-0.
3-0. Here we come.
There goes Davis. Oh my God! Davis is going running all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game.